Welcome to Never End the Story, a rewatch podcast where we watch the movies of our childhood, along with Tepper, a grown man who's never seen them before. I'm your host, Ivan, freed from the shackles of self-obligation.
I'm Chris, and I'm tired of fussing and fighting.
I'm Shana, and I'm crazy for keratin.
And I'm Tepper.
This week, we'll be watching The Indian in the Cupboard, directed by Frank Oz, released in 1995. Lynn Reed Banks wrote her original novel as a bedtime story for her son, Omri. Chris and I brought this movie to us this week. Why?
This had a really cool VHS. did you remember that, Ivan? Did you have it on tape?
I'm trying to remember. It might have been one of the many that was recorded off TV.
Oh, you were robbed if this was recorded off TV.
I have a vague recollection, so maybe like my babysitter owned it on VHS. Anyways, I don't recall it well enough to be able to describe it. So
the VHS case came with a tiny plastic Indian and a key. Right. And it had like a fake locking mechanism on the VHS case. So it could be like your own little like cupboard thing.
I do remember that.
Yeah, hell yeah. That's probably my most distinct memory from this. And also conveniently contains no spoilers.
None that aren't in the title.
It makes sense that it's a children's book. I didn't know that.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, I don't know. I enjoyed this movie probably, as I did with literally anything that was on a flashing screen when I was young. And I don't remember a lot of it. So we'll see. This is a departure from our like forced era of various things and much more modern things. I don't remember much of this movie, but it's also only an hour and a half long, so that'll be nice.
Hey.
Yeah.
Already got me excited.
Does anyone else have a personal connection to this film?
I watched it. I remember kind of the story beats of like the beginning, the climax, the end. I don't know what the fuck was filled in between those parts.
I mean, an hour and a half, you don't need any filling. With any luck, a very aggressive business dad. Although this might be a movie with just a mom. Not that they can't be business dads too.
Yes.
We believe in business dad equality.
Yeah. Everyone can be a business dad. All you have to do is disregard your children and focus on business.
Yeah. You can even be a business dad without business. Just conduct fake business.
Or a child. Yeah. Fake child, fake business.
As long as you have something you're supposed to be responsible for and instead choose to pay attention to something else very professionally.
This isn't normal neglect. This is professional neglect.
Exactly. What about you, Tepper? Have you read the synopsis or anything?
No, this is actually a movie I know nothing about. I'm not even sure if I heard the title before you guys put this one on the list. Yeah, I don't know. I'm trying to think. I'm searching my vague child memories for any mention of this movie, but coming up blank. So I'm assuming the premise is they move into a house and there's an Indian in the cupboard that the children find, and then, you know, the Indian teaches things and they go on an adventure or whatever, and other things happen. It actually made me think about, like, the title of the movie made me think about another movie that I really liked watching when I was younger, which was Small Soldiers.
Oh, hell yeah.
Yeah.
Hell yeah, that's
so bad in the best ways.
Yeah, it's very fantastic piece of weird 90s movie.
That's a movie where I'm sure people here can guess what side I was cheering for, and it certainly wasn't the heroes.
I actually don't know anything about that movie. So.
Oh man. That should be a Tepalog then.
Yeah. I honestly thought everybody had seen it, so I didn't put it on the Tepalog list. But yeah, I'll put it on the Tepalog list because that movie is great.
You and Tepper will not agree
Uh-oh.
on like this on who to side with. Possibly also on quality of movie.
Yeah. I mean, I haven't seen it in a long time. I watched it a lot when I was younger.
Yeah.
There was like a good 3 decades of movies where the whole plot revolved around evil microchips.
Yep.
It's just such a convenient plot device.
Well, and the idea that they could do anything.
Especially when nobody understands what any of those words mean.
Yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, that was a tangent. Yeah, I shouldn't go on too much more of a tangent. I'll just say like whenever, small sized things comes up in movies, just makes me think of that movie.
All right. Well, now showing the poster. Please describe it and tell us what you think the movie's about. Sorry that it's not a direct image link, but this was the best quality I could find.
No worries. Man, that is a vintage poster.
Oh yeah.
It's
God damn.
it's in vaporwave. It's in aesthetic.
Yeah. Oh my god, you're right.
Yeah, this poster like really wants to be for a movie in the 80s.
Yeah.
For something that was mid 90s.
Yeah, right in the middle. That is how, if we wanted 1 billion followers, that is what we would do. We would just upload the movie posters and like put vaporwave over them and kind of like fade them back and forth. Put that on the YouTube channel.
Yeah. So this poster is like relatively straightforward. At the top, it just says "Adventure comes to life," and the background is like purple and pink vaporwave-ish like city, and then in the foreground is a kid that's having like heavenly light shown like shined on him from behind. And he's got his hands cupped together, and in his hands is a small Indian, and the kid's looking in amazement at the little Indian.
Please, they prefer to be called dwarf Indians.
The small dwarf Indian is like kind of doing a weird power stance, I guess. Like I don't know, like
He looks surprised. I think that's
Yeah.
For. Like,
Some
oh
amount
my
of
god,
surprise or like bracing himself to not fall over
to about to be
as
eaten
this
by
kid
this
eats
giant.
him into the sky.
Yeah.
and then at the bottom in like gold lettering it says "The Indian in the Cupboard." Main thing about this poster is the lighting for this whole poster is weird.
Yeah, lighting on the kid's very weird.
The hands, like everything, like,
Mm-hmm.
and then contrast that to like the background, which is a much more dull, like pink purple. It's like,
This is lit in the same world as the Drive Angry poster, where light can come from anywhere.
Yeah.
Like, the sun is both behind him and within his hands.
Yes.
I get emphasizing the hands, and maybe that's why the light is behind him like it is, to make it look vaguely like that's what's actually happening. I don't know.
Yeah.
Weird.
But yeah, it's got a very vintage feel to the whole thing.
And it opens this July.
I just realized maybe the preferred term would be first micronations.
We request before we were forced into the cupboard reservations, we used to roam the kitchens and hallways of this house.
No. Oh no!
With the house.
Yeah, I was gonna say it's like that good CanCon, the house hippo.
We used to hunt the house hippos.
Yeah, they used every part of the house hippo.
I like this Tepper canon of Indian in the Cupboard, where they're basically like the Atreyu people who hunt the purple buffalo, but tiny and into your kitchen.
Yeah. Oh. And whoever buys the house has to like also respect the treaties that have been written up with the Indians in the cupboard.
What is with us recently, and just like how far can we take a metaphor? Can we like
Gotta get every drop of blood.
Yeah. The fridge is the residential school.
Oh.
You said it, not me.
I mean, I just picked a random. I could have said any appliance, and it would have been like, yikes.
Okay, I think we can stop there. Yeah, and then yeah, it's like an alright poster. In terms of what I think would happen, like to go over it, like I feel like it would be like the family moves into a new house. The kid, in his exploration of the house, finds the Indian in the cupboard. They go on adventures together. Trying to think, like maybe the Indian wants to go somewhere else.
Together they read the never-ending story.
Ooh.
And play Jumanji.
The adventure comes to life.
And attend the All Valley karate tournament in person.
I think a micro Jumanji would be actually fun to play as a board game
Ooh.
as a full-size person.
Micro Jumanji.
Wait, so you're a full-size person.
And the Jumanji board game and everything that comes out of it is tiny.
Ah, I see.
Yeah,
So-
I'd fight a tiny stampede.
Because now the inconvenience is you just gotta like chase them around the floor.
Oh no, tiny giant mosquitoes.
It's just normal-sized mosquitoes.
Yeah, pretty much.
All right. We'll see after the film.
They're just plastic toys. Plastech people. They're just completely plastic.
Okay,
Plastic.
that's fine, Omri. Fine.
Plastic.
Yes, thank you. Let me see.
Plastic.
And we're back. So, what did everyone think?
It was different from what I expected, but in a good way. In a good way.
Mm-hmm.
And there were definitely parts where I was bored.
Huh.
But this movie went a lot deeper on certain subject matter than I thought it would. And I respect it a lot for having the balls to fucking go to certain places.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, it was pretty entertaining and very fucked up.
Yes.
Yeah. But like again, like mad respect.
It took itself very seriously, yeah.
Yes, and I really appreciate that, because I can easily imagine a corporate washed version of this where like, haha, aren't those Indians so neat and great, and isn't this whole thing very fun? Like you know what I mean? Like I could really imagine just like a really bad version of this, and what we got instead was something that like had a very good moral message, and it was a lot more interesting than I thought. Like I really thought it would be just like, I don't know, like cookie cutter kids movie stuff.
Yeah. Well, you said like he there's a secret Indian in a cupboard, and they go on an adventure.
Yeah. But like, yeah, like honestly, like that's what I thought, and like
That is
also
not this movie.
yeah, and I appreciated that this movie like I expected him to be getting bullied at school, and instead he just gets mugged poorly once.
He gets age appropriate mugged.
Yeah, but like yeah, like I expected him to be like an outcast at school or something, or in several cases I expected him to be like mocked for his story, but instead like the movie was like, no, like this is great, like, and the people around him support him, and he has got supportive parents. He has both parents. Both of his
Yeah.
parents are alive, guys.
So yeah, it's very weird. He has two parents and he hasn't moved to a new town. Like that is like you can't start a kids movie that way. It's impossible. It doesn't make any sense.
Yeah, how am I supposed to relate to this kid?
But also just the fucking bully hanging outside a hardware store and getting mad when a kid comes out carrying hardware supplies.
Yes,
Yeah.
it takes like what, like $5 off him or something.
I like to imagine that bully like also like bully like if the dad had gone there, he also would have robbed him.
What do you mean the dad can't leave the house?
Oh yes, of course. The dad is cursed. Oh, guys, I cracked the code.
Yeah.
It's Beetlejuice World. The parents are dead.
That makes
Oh
a
my
lot of
God.
sense.
Oh.
She's
They
got a bit more
can't- they
free
can't
reign,
leave
though.
the
She can
house.
get all the way to the school. She can at least get to the property line of the school, anyways.
Oh, very true.
But yeah, the dad never leaves the house. It's very entertaining.
That
Yeah.
dad was written in like a dad fantasy. The dad just like never ever leaves the house. He's permanently fixing the house and just doing like weird things that don't. Oh no, he puts in a skylight for the Radical brothers.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, this movie was interesting because like all the like the family is like supportive, like across the board basically. Like they're all
Well, that's not where the conflict comes from. The conflict is internal. It's this kid. It's a boy becoming a man by learning about how he has power over life and death. It's
yes.
I was very much like you, Tepper. I was very pleasantly surprised by most of this movie.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, and that's definitely where the main conflict lies. Sorry, go ahead, John.
like we can talk about it more when we get to the lists, but Omri's the villain of this movie, right?
Oh, for sure. I think you could make an
Yeah.
argument that the friend Patrick is.
I think the friend is the villain because
Eh.
like Omri is ignorant, but understand like he once you hit the halfway point, he understands the gravity of what he's dealing with, where his friend is just a total idiot.
When you hit the halfway point, he murders his brother's rat.
Yeah, that was crazy. The rat's in a ball, and he just kicks the ball, and he goes down the stairs. That rat should be dead.
Well, it's not dead, so
It seems like the whole family hates the rat too.
yeah, everybody hates the rat.
Just like have him like why buy him the ball? I guess he bought himself the ball, but with all that money he saved by finding his brother a cabinet for his birthday.
I, that
Don't
that
worry, he
brother
washed it.
has that rat because everyone hates it though.
Oh
I mean,
yeah.
But that's
yeah.
where like he would have like the parents would have been fine, but he has to stay in a cage, and then he was like, okay, and buys the ball.
Yeah.
It's a cage.
But like, where did his brother find the cupboard? Where did his grandmother find a key?
Yeah, I was gonna say, why does her grandmother have the key for the cupboard?
Listen, he was walking by this bookstore with an old man.
I'd argue the key is the magic thing, and I think it would fit in any lock.
Ooh.
I thought that was.
Okay.
I actually thought that was part of this movie. I actually thought I remembered the cupboard getting destroyed, and then I'm using a different thing. They never made a sequel, right? Fun fact: they were planning to make all 4 at the time books into movies.
What?
There are 5 books now, so
Holy
it would have
shit.
probably been all 5.
Damn.
But this movie didn't do well in the box office, so they never made a sequel. I could have sworn I remember that plot point, so maybe there's a similar product. Or maybe I just made up better stories. Who knows?
There's like a very obvious and lazy like woke take you could do on this movie, you know?
Yeah.
And I don't want to touch that right up to even like I'm using the word Indian because that is the word the movie uses. But I think this movie, I think that if you had that take, you really miss the point
Yes.
of the movie, and you kind of have to live in the movie's world, which is 1995. And that's fine. And honestly, it's pretty. I don't know. The message is good. It's like it ends with like, yeah, kid, these people aren't for your entertainment.
Yes.
It helps. It helps that one of the closing scenes is the World Trade Center. It really dates the movie.
Is that real? I didn't notice that.
Yeah. The dawn of the final morning. You just see the sun rising between the two towers.
Oh wow.
Omri, I'm going to work now.
Finally get the realization.
Your dad's finally going to work now that he's
Holy
finished
shit.
work on the house.
Holy shit.
Oh. Yeah. I think like and like him gradually understanding the like responsibility and like what it means to be doing what he's doing is like really good. The relationship between him and Little Bear is excellent.
Yeah.
The way it like progresses. Like I appreciate one thing I really appreciate about the movie is I was worried it would spend too much time with him trying to like hide it or make up excuses or stuff like that. And instead the movie just goes like, yeah, his parents don't notice, like even show up for 90% of the movie, and it really lets him just go and interact, because that's where the strength of the movie is in his interactions with Little Bear and the cowboy. And I really appreciate that the movie was like, yeah, we're not gonna bother with like any of that stuff.
I really wish he leaned in a third time and got stabbed again at the beginning. just because that music cue hit a third time, and it's like,
Yeah.
oh, please, just put that finger in there again.
That was the correct response. Like, yes, stab that giant hand that's coming at you. Jesus.
Well, in the same way, like when the cowboy shot his friend, I was like, yes, shoot him again.
Yeah.
And shoot him a third time.
Aim for the eye
Like,
this time.
Yeah, blind him.
Oh God, that friend. When the kid was first in class, like, I have a cupboard that brings toys to life.
Just
And then-
leans forward.
The lean forward and
That
the
shot
musical
was
sting.
amazing.
Oh, wow.
That was the best shot of the movie.
It really was. And this was a well-crafted film. That was just perfect. That was so perfect.
Yeah, his friend was so fucking stupid. Jesus Christ.
Yeah, that kid was a menace.
Yeah, and that's why I say, like, he's the real, like, Omri comes from, like, a place of ignorance.
I mean, so does his friend.
Yeah, but his friend has somebody else going, like, hey, listen, man. Like, this is deadly serious, and you're my friend, and I trust you. Don't do shit. And his friend blatantly ignores him in, like, the worst way.
Omri needs to learn how to be responsible for a key before he can be responsible for a living miniature person.
Yes, also that, yeah. Yeah, and you know what? Like, yeah, when he sent Little Bear into the like when Little Bear was like, "I'm gonna go under the floorboards," you should have given him the cowboy's gun.
That is the first thing he asks for. I love
Shit.
that. I love that. The phrase like, "Oh, you can make anything. Give me a gun." And he's like, "I can't give you a gun." He's like, "Show me where the King of France is."
Yes, yes.
I
Oh,
was just like, "Oh man, I like this guy."
Based Little Bear.
Yes. Where is my weapon, and where is the nearest authority?
I don't need a horse. Give me a gun.
Yeah, we'll walk.
I do
Oh,
really
man.
like his realization that Omri is a child.
Oh,
Like the
yes.
moment he's
Yeah.
like, oh, you've never seen death before? Like, yeah, no, it doesn't happen in front of people. Like, what do you mean death doesn't happen in front of people? Oh, fuck, you're a child.
Yeah. It was very interesting seeing it, like seeing their relationship develop and change over time. And like I love like Omri, like how this movie was like, yes, I've got my summoning cabinet where I can summon the solution to any problem.
I really liked when he's going like buck wild on the cabinet, and I was just like, yes, I've created life. Now how many other demons can I make?
Yeah.
Yes.
It's just I've grown bored of this Indian I've stolen from his time. What if a dinosaur and Darth Vader and RoboCop and I don't remember who else was on the bottom shelf.
Yeah.
It was everything that is licensed by Industrial Light and Magic, basically, because this is a vaguely Henson film.
Apparently the director.
Oh yeah, it's Frank Oz, and he does a great job. Which I was looking at Frank Oz's film career as a director. It's wild.
Such as.
Well, first of all, he's Frank Oz, so he's the puppeteer for like Miss Piggy and stuff. And I think he was the voice for a couple of the Muppets too.
Yeah, he's also voices a Yoda.
And let me see. Okay. So his directorial debut being The Dark Crystal, which is probably my favorite movie of all time. Little Shop of Horrors, Indian in the Cupboard, obviously. Bowfinger, which is crazy. The Stepford Wives, like the modern Stepford Wives. Yeah, like interesting career.
Yeah, that's variety.
Yeah.
Huh, yeah. Voice of Fozzie Bear, Miss Piggy, Sam the Eagle, and Yoda.
Like that's a Hollywood career, man.
Doesn't have any like qualms about bringing a deer to life for him to hunt, though.
No,
He's
that's
just like,
cool.
this is fine.
Well, it's been shown he has no respect for animals.
True.
Yes. Him reading Stuart Little at the beginning.
Just thinking about how hard he'd kick that rat.
Yeah. 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 This movie, its dealings with like life and death was like really good.
It got heavy. It got heavy, but in a very
yeah.
Smart. It dealt with it pretty well, you know.
Yeah. And like what I thought was interesting too is the fact that they went like when they're watching, TV, right? And they put on the like classic Cowboys versus Indians type movie, but it's like they changed the framing, right? Like it's not the victorious Cowboys. It's like, no, they're massacring these people and like killing them, and then Little Bear's right there and like obviously getting traumatized by it.
Yes.
Like that was not something I expected this movie to like do.
That's one of the scenes I remembered. Although I remembered not fully correct information, but I'm like, where's the TV scene with the atrocities? That was what I remembered. I didn't remember exactly the content of the scene.
How many members are there in this family? I think you could tell me almost any number because there was like,
well, because it opens with the birthday. So I thought that his friend was like, I thought it was just like a big foster family or something at first.
Same. Yeah.
So he has 2 older brothers.
Yes, the radical brothers who want the skylight and keep rats.
Yeah.
And I think somebody else who wasn't an adult was at that party, ignoring the young child that his friend's mother was holding.
There was a girl.
Yeah.
There was like a teenage girl and a teenage boy, right?
There definitely were people in that scene.
Could have been cousins, because from my understanding, it's parents, 2 brothers, and then Omri. And I think everyone else was either family or friends for his birthday party.
Yeah, you don't put cousins in a movie if they have no value, but fair, they could have been cousins.
I think they were just there to fill in the space.
Yeah, again, do not do that.
I choose to it gets confusing. I choose to believe that there are many family members lost in the endless wings of the house that the father creates.
I choose to believe that their souls were sacrificed to the cabinet, and that's how he was able to give two beings life at a time.
Oh man. Well, okay, so in your version of this, Ivan, what happens when you turn them back into a toy?
It's a great question. I posed, what is it doing? Did it literally steal him from, like, was he a real person?
1671?
Did it steal him from that year?
I guess so.
He definitely thinks that's the case.
Mm-hmm.
And like what? Because literally Boone asks him, "What's going to happen to us? Are we going to like wake up immediately, or will time have passed?" He's like, "I don't know."
Well, the medic soldier, time did pass for him.
He did experience. He got pulled out the second time in the middle of a blitz or something.
I like how like Omri has no qualms about like sending this person back to like arguably one of the worst human experiences of all time.
Yeah, that's where I was mixed on him sending him back, because I'm like, oh man, you're sending him back, like, yes, to his time, but also like to a very terrible time of history and like death for both of them. Like for both of them, it's not going to be a very good time.
Yeah.
Death and disease. Well, that's why a thing I didn't expect the movie to do was when like Little Bear goes like, "Are we always going to be the great people?" And I'm like,
fuck.
Oh.
That was intense at the very end. Oh man.
Yeah, that was a question to ask. Oh boy.
Yeah, like my face was like warping just because I just couldn't believe this movie did it.
Yeah.
Yeah, bad things will happen or whatever. Like things change. Is that what he said?
Things won't always be great or something.
He
Yeah.
says you'll always be a great people, but the
things
times
won't always be great or something.
Yeah,
and then it's
something
just
like
like
that.
it's like
Yeah.
so change is coming. Is like yeah.
Bruh moment. The
Well, but
biggest
also-
bruh moment of all time.
That speaks to what this movie does really well. Like it understands what being obsessed with, like kids get obsessed with whatever you want, cowboys and Indians, whatever you want to call it.
Yeah.
And what that represents to a child, especially a modern child, like the freedom and sort of like rejection of all these things that you're forced to do, like school and stuff like that. I think this movie really understands that very well. So like to give this movie more credit than it deserves, he's weeping for the Iroquois people and also the death of his childhood in that moment.
Yeah.
Damn.
Yeah.
Well, it's like he's got like a physical conception of death now because he literally saw somebody die in front of him
Yeah.
and
Caused
had
it
to
even.
bury him.
Yes, absolutely caused it.
Oh yeah. True. Yeah, he caused the death.
So the kind of a weird scene is where Little Bear says he says it's like you are my nephew
Yeah.
now.
Yeah.
But like it's not something Omri ever needed or wanted to our knowledge. He has a father figure.
Yeah, it's interesting.
interesting.
He has very many male figures. Like he has older brothers. He has that mystery older cousin brother that disappears. His dad is around. The teacher seems like a cool guy.
Yeah. So it's just like there's like nothing wrong with that scene. It's just like it doesn't have the normal impact it would when you say no, we killed this guy's dad before pre movie.
Yeah, like it doesn't fulfill a need for Omri.
And also, I feel like Little Bear didn't feel like a parental person to Omri. Like, his first introduction was, "Oh, you are a great spirit," and like, "Oh fuck, you're a child," and just like
I definitely got.
Yeah, I definitely got parental vibes.
Yeah, from the point where he says, "Oh fuck, this is a good line. You shouldn't do magic that you don't understand."
Yes.
Like yes, correct.
Yeah.
I take most of those interactions as like casting down a demon as opposed to like scolding a child.
I saw it as like a victim, like saying to his traumatizer, like, "You're fucking up. You're doing something really awful. Please be self-aware."
I mean, that's parental guidance. Like that's like he is being taught like no like actions. Your actions have serious consequences. Like we are people, and you can't just treat us lightly. And in that sense, like yeah, like he takes he helps Omri through his journey to, like as Chris was said, like basically like the death of his childhood, and like a better understanding of what it means to live and to die.
I don't know. If I was shrunk down tiny and then put into the possession of a child who had complete control over everything, I would not feel any parental anything for this child. I would be terrified.
Pray for death.
Yeah. When I'm returned back to normal, I never want to see that kid ever again. That kid's someone else's problem. I don't care what life lessons I imparted.
Never put Shana in the cupboard, everybody. You just hiss at everybody in the corner. But yeah, I think he was like in a sense like a parental figure.
Also, I mean, I guess there's something to say about just like British author writing a story about her son with a Hebrew king's name being taken in by a First Nation. I read a little bit of her history. She spent years in World War II because she was evacuated to Saskatchewan.
Oh.
Huh.
And then she spent many years in Israel teaching.
Huh. That's
presumably
life.
why some of these source pieces come from.
That's really interesting.
Also, like, so especially nowadays, less in the 90s, but even probably still then, if you found another figure that was from like the exact same mold that
Ooh.
Little Bear was,
Oh no.
is that also Little Bear?
If you put two of them together,
Is that just gonna be like because like if you go far enough back, it's like, sure, this is a figure that was like handmade by somebody.
Sure.
Yeah. I see
If
what
you
you're
put
saying.
2 Darth Vaders in there,
Yeah.
huh?
And
What
like, I
happens?
mean, I want the sequel where Omri gets into Warhammer.
Oh,
That's awesome.
that is actually incredible.
oh man, you could abuse that thing so much. Like, do you think if you put in fake money or even Monopoly money,
I mean,
it comes
Oh,
out as
yeah.
real money?
that was where Shana went to
Damn,
immediately.
Shauna's thinking.
I mean, the answer is yes, considering what it did to that teepee.
Yeah.
Like, that teepee was not even remotely.
And then I started thinking, like, well, what if it's the key that's magic? What if you got like a coffin with a lock,
Oh my
and then
god.
like if you locked it and unlocked it, what happens to the body inside? I have so many questions of the application of this key. What horrors can you do? Where can you expand this into?
What if he replaced the lock on his house while all of his family was inside?
Oh, would it turn into like a mannequin house?
Well, no, but the people inside might.
You know, that's what I'm like. Everything inside becomes like toys and artificial, like a wax museum.
So he takes the rat ball, he puts it in the cupboard. The rat turns to plastic, and the ball turns to flesh.
Yes. Oh, what happens if you put flesh in there? That wasn't a toy. These are questions that I need answers to.
But nobody
Need is a
else needs
strong word.
answers to. Oh my god.
I had simpler questions of like, if you take Little Bear, who is a plastic figure from the 90s, and like he stays alive for like 10-15 years, and you put him back in, does he return to like the old formatting of like a plastic figure, or does he have like the new detailing of modern print technology? And like, what if Omri gets a 3D printer? That's just gonna
Oh my god.
Indian in the 3D printer.
Oh.
This movie really needs a modern sequel. Well, it doesn't need it. This concept needs a modern sequel.
Yeah. It's rich.
Yeah.
You can do
Just
so much with
just
modern
don't
print
get Shauna
technology.
to direct it because it will be a horror movie.
Oh yeah, I turned this into a horror.
Yeah.
movie.
Like Omri's just summoning demons and like creating
Junji
monsters.
Ito shit that Shauna wants to do.
Yeah.
just like Shauna accidentally turns a plastic Indian into a person. Next step, put steak into
Yeah.
into cupboard.
Oh my
I need to know the alchemy rules of this cupboard. If I put someone's ashes in there, what happens?
Oh my god.
ask your father, who can't stop doing reno on the house, to install the lock on the house. Turn your brothers to plastic. That's a real prank to get back at them.
Yes, I really appreciated the as a person with brothers, the constant love/hate Cold War.
Yeah.
It really that was real. That was very, very well portrayed. And like
Yeah.
going into their room and stealing shit, that's some brother shit
Yeah.
right there.
Like they're his brothers, 100% reasonable and pretty much validated, because the youngest brother just fucking thinks he can get away with anything.
Yes.
Yeah.
It's just like, why are you in my room? It's like, why'd you steal our stuff?
Yeah.
It's just then kicks Rat downstairs and hides his ball. It's just like, where's the cupboard? It's just like, where's my stuff you stole?
Yeah, why did you do this to me? Because you're a little sociopath. What do you
Yeah.
mean?
Sociopath with a god complex.
Just actions have consequences. Just like, I don't understand.
Yeah, please explain.
Man, that one brother who his arc of dad put in a skylight to look
Yeah.
up at the skylight, just this huge smile on his face. It was very fun.
Yeah.
Everything I've ever wanted, now I can die.
JFK was one of the youngest presidents of the
Holy shit,
United
Seth.
States.
Seth,
Oh my
I know
God,
you like
the
JFK.
best
Seth.
child in this movie.
JFK-tism.
Well, it's also it's like excellent piece of storytelling to just like that little scene of just like read the little thing you wrote, literally anything, because you're
Yes.
like third graders or whatever. Excellent piece of narrative, but
Yeah.
that fucking JFK kid,
The
so
movie
good.
ends with him.
Yes,
Yeah.
it
Yeah,
sure
it's
does.
so good. It's with him getting
oh.
shot.
And Omri just doing his best Nicolas Cage impression, just staring
Yes.
at JFK kid talking about JFK.
Okay,
Oh.
I thought of something for this JFK kid.
Okay.
So you know how Omri's report is based on his experience with the Indian in the cupboard and all that?
No.
Yeah.
The JFK kid went on like a time adventure with JFK.
The JFK kid, because this also takes place in New York. So the JFK kid has the Last Action Hero ticket, and he went into the Zapruder film.
So I was also like, I was just like, what if what if end of this thing, just like the one of the kids in the class is just like, my grandfather was Boone. And it's just like, that raises so many questions.
Yeah.
Oh man, that teacher, I kept being like, why isn't the teacher like, okay, Omri, this is getting kind of weird, your story here. But then I was figuring the teacher must be like, well, I mean, Seth has like a drawing on his desk of him and JFK kissing, so I guess
Yeah.
I have bigger problems with my students.
Yeah, I mean, like, oh, how old do you think? What grade do you think those kids were? I have no ability to tell age, especially. I mean, movies don't do a good job of it, anyways. So.
They were learning to read and write, so like second grade, maybe.
I was thinking like
grade.
7 or 8. Yeah.
Yeah, that's kind of where I was placing them too. So like, I mean, he's basically a babysitter. They're reading words that they probably wrote. That's all they need to. All he really needs to worry about.
Yeah.
JFK had dreamy eyes and pillowy, kissable lips.
Fucking, they're just plastic people. Plastech people.
Oh, that's
Plastech.
that was, I think, the worst scene
Plastech.
in the movie.
They are made of plastic. Don't
20
move
more
plastic.
It just kept going.
It went on for so fucking long.
It's like, yes, Omri, I understand these words, even if you say them poorly.
Well, it just went on for so long. Like it was exhausting, that scene.
If you do teach 8-year-olds, I bet that is most of your life is like you hear them screaming like something like somebody just died. You go and like, what's this fight about? And they're like, basically nothing.
Yeah, man. I think about some of the fights I've seen my friends get into, like in elementary school, ones I remember getting into, and I look back at them all and I'm like, man, that was really fucking stupid and kind of over nothing, wasn't it?
Yeah, no, it's very much, it's just like, he has my plastic toy and I pushed him. This fight will never be resolved.
Yes,
no.
this is the worst thing.
Yeah.
I hate you forever. You're not my friend anymore.
Like 100% genuine fight. Have had, will have again.
Just leave a review.
10-10 fight we'll have again.
Yes, on MetaFight.
Yeah, I was gonna say, like, what kind of website will we have for like reading
Fightpedia.
fights?
The day that Little Bear and Boone spent together in the fanny pack was very cute.
Yeah,
where they like
yeah, that
become
was
where they
good.
like start off and they hate each other and then they're like best bros by the end. They're like crying and hanging out.
Hell yeah.
And I love the cowboys. How he bought it. Is like, you want a wife and kids? I also want you to have a wife and kids.
Yeah.
He's just he says he's a softie. Boo hoo boon.
Yeah.
It's what all his friends called him after they shot him.
He does get shot, and then he's like, and Little Bear's trying to apologize. He's like, "Bro, come on, we're bros. We shoot each other."
Yeah, and I cry when it happens. That's why people call me Boo Hoo Boom.
Man, I actually didn't expect them to actually show like somebody getting shot on screen like that.
Oh, and
Like,
blood and
arrow
stuff.
arrow through his chest and everything. Like I did not expect that. I didn't think the movie had the balls to do it, but they did. But yeah, and like another great scene was when like Omri was going to make Little Bear a wife. Little Bear's like, no, don't.
Yeah, please don't. Have you learned nothing? Also, we have our Night at the Museum tie-in with Steve Coogan in this movie.
Yep.
I mean, he was the medic, and he is Octavius in Night at the Museum.
Ah.
Still small. Still got it.
The effects in this movie were really good. Like it looked great.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah, I was thinking that when the Indian first stepped on Omri's hand, it's like, oh wow, that's actually really well done. Like he's shaking with the hand. Like when the hand moves a little bit, he moves a little bit too. Like he's actually just sitting on a giant hand. It's really good.
Yeah, there are a few things where you can see, or it's like, oh, okay, I can kind of see, where the green screening is happening or whatever. But for the most part, it's just really fantastically done, and you can see why they got like Henson and Industrial Light and Magic in on that.
Yeah, it's aged very well effects wise. Because when did this movie come out again?
95.
Yeah.
When did Jumanji come out?
Whew, maybe the same year before. Oh,
95, same year.
Okay, yeah. So like obviously a different scale, but the effects in this movie have aged better than Jumanji in my opinion.
Well, I guess because they didn't use as much CGI.
Yeah, and that's what I mean by like it's a very different scale of usage. But it's just interesting seeing the difference because it's like in Jumanji there were several points where I was like, ooh, that don't look so good.
I like how the parents never noticed like the smoke coming from like there were fires in Omri's room like quite a few times.
It was just like I'm not afraid of the dark anymore. You can close the door. I've got this nightlight of a flickering fire silhouetting an Indian and a horse.
I have a scale Iroquois village that I totally built with a scale fire.
Which he definitely just puts his finger into when he's taking the
Yeah.
That dust stuff or whatever.
Yeah. I have some very vivid memories of scenes I definitely thought were from this movie and feel like they're from a sequel that doesn't exist. So I really don't know where the fuck those are from.
Oh man.
Some Mandela effect shit going on here.
Mash this up with Small Soldiers and Prehysteria.
I mean, like, there's no logical reason for the scenes I'm thinking of to be in Small Soldiers or Prehysteria. Like, I really feel like I remember a scene with, like, animating the wife and a scene with... Like,
I thought so too!
Like,
yeah, I thought the wife got animated too, and she's like, they couldn't speak the same language.
And, like, I could have sworn there was a scene with the destroyed cupboard, and then, he, like, sticks it in a different cupboard.
Oh.
Or something.
That I don't remember, but I seem to remember I remembered the saga of him like replacing the diorama with like Todd McFarlane's Spawn figures.
Yeah, I remember that too. I remember him taking more than just one guy.
That happened a little bit, but I remember him. I thought at the end he like took the Longhouse and put it there, and put Little Bear and like all the other and put them there.
Is there an extended cut of this
Where's
movie?
the Schneider cut?
Yes, where's the Schneider cut of Indian in the Cupboard?
But like I wonder if there's multiple versions of this movie.
I'm gonna start. I think I watched the Snyder cut with my 92-year-old grandfather. I'm gonna start posting his reviews of movies, which will be just the minute at which he fell asleep. Which for the Snyder cut was about like minute 5. Like he did not last very long at all.
Is that a good review?
I don't know. I don't know.
He got a good 4 hours of sleep.
Oh man, can we get him on the podcast? Probably my favorite thing I've done in the last year is have to sit through the Warcraft movie with my grandfather and try to explain to him. He's like, when's this supposed to take place He's like trying. He thought it was like Germany or something. He's just like looking at orcs, and he's like, who are these guys?
Oh my god. He needs to start up his own blog, reading just his movie reviews.
No reference of there being an extended version.
Okay.
It's so weird. What? We're all from the same Berenstein world.
I might be mixing it up with Night at the Museum because they have.
There is some of that for at least the like wife stuff.
The Sacagawea story plot.
Yeah. Huh. Weird. It just feels like there's a sequel. And if there is, it's not called The Indian in the Cupboard 2. And no amount of information is telling me what it is called. Bizarre.
What is the when Little Bear goes to fight the rat in the dungeon of the under the floor? What is the advice that Omri gives him? Because it's really bad. He's like, what do I need to worry about down there?
Everything. I think he said everything. Yeah.
Yeah.
Like,
What other dangers are there? Everything.
It's like not just the rat, really. I mean,
he's never been over the floorboards. He doesn't know.
That scene. I'm assuming it was because of budget, but like it would have been interesting to see it from Little Bear's perspective.
Yes, that would have been very cool.
Of him under the floorboard fighting the rat and getting the key. Because I was a little disappointed because it was just like the two kids kind of like crawling all over the floor and putting their ears to the floorboards.
Oh man. What if the rat is the kid from the witches and he's hunting down this witchcraft?
Ooh,
this
that's
case
good.
wide open.
He knows that someone's got a cupboard that traps people inside of it.
Ooh, that's good. That's good. And they like accidentally got a cupboard from like one of the
Hey, at the end of
witches
the movie,
they
he says
killed or
he's
something.
going to America to kill the American witches.
Yeah.
I mean, the key came from a grandmother. She could have been a witch.
Oh.
It all comes back to the key.
When my grandmother was dying, the rat putting poison in her water.
That is like this movie from the start does not pull its punches. Like one of the first scenes is like, yeah, here's a key. My grandmother gave it to me. She had nothing and she was sad and she died. Here you go.
And I demanded this key from her.
Yeah, that was the first like thing where I was like, huh, that seems like a little like heavy to start off with, like, but okay, like I respect it.
Did I know your grandmother? It's like, no, of course not. Don't be stupid.
She was dead well before, you were around. Yeah, and like a lot of the dialogue, like the family dialogue scenes, like stuff like that, where it's like, yeah, like I've in the exact same situation where like I never got to meet my grandfather on my mom's side because he just passed away well before I was born.
Well, it was her grandmother, not even his grandmother. So it's you definitely didn't meet her.
yeah.
But yeah.
And the clothing was a real like the outfits people were wearing. I'm like, I think it was you, Chris, who said like, yes, I've dressed like every single one of these people at some point in my life.
Yes, every man in this movie, I've worn that outfit. From the father to the cool brother to Omri. Yes.
Yeah, like Omri's outfit, I was like, I can't remember if I wore that outfit, but I definitely met people who did.
Yeah.
Like,
he looks almost exactly like someone I knew in grade school.
There was a certain look, 90s look of like, how baggy can I make my pants, shirt, and hair?
Well, yeah. Well, it's just like, how bowl cut can your parents get away with?
I'm the youngest, so I've never experienced these things you're talking about, but that's interesting.
There was a very small thing that made me very happy where they're when Boone and Little Bear are first meeting and they're having a shootout, and Little Bear shoots the heel, and it's those
Yeah.
light up heels, and they light up.
Yes.
And I was
Yeah.
like, that's such a cute little thing to put in. Like, that's not. Yeah. This movie has a lot of stuff like that.
Yeah.
Very good. So I mean, there are 4 more books. He
Well,
just keeps
shall we,
bringing the Indian back, presumably. Like, it's just like, I won't use the cupboard anymore.
Oh.
Or I wonder
Unless-
if it's like pass it down through the family type thing. I don't know. I'd have to go.
I don't
look.
know.
I would hope he would have learned his lesson after this and like don't bring shit to life.
Yeah, well, you can't let the brothers get at that. You have to Jumanji that cupboard. The brothers are on the cusp of puberty. They're gonna put a fleshlight in there or something, and I don't want to know what.
Oh no!
Oh my god! I had a crazy hypothetical.
Oh
You
no!
have a doll of yourself made, a little figure of yourself, and then you put a note with it in like 200 years for someone to put that figure into the cupboard, like Back to the Future style, of like deliver this letter at this date and time, and just like you go to bed and then you dream 200 years in the future.
We
you
will let
imagine
that
that?
statement stand.
I think that'd be pretty cool. I think that'd be a great way to take the story forward.
So, like, the sequel is called The Return of the Indian,
Okay. So
and the sequel after that is similarly named. I don't know
he
about
just
the ones
keeps
after that,
returning.
but you can buy a trilogy of the 5 books.
Huh?
Like a baker's dozen, a British trilogy is 5.
If Stuart Little didn't exist in world, if he put that rat into the cupboard, I bet you that's how you get Stuart Little.
Oh, and then they gave the rat away to an orphanage, and then so begins Stuart Little.
Unified theory of child movie that we're creating over here.
Yeah, Indian in the cupboard, unexpected nexus.
Well, like, oh my god, like, what if he became like Sid from Toy Story and starts like experimenting on toys
Oh
and then
Oh,
bringing them
God.
to life?
Oh, that'd be really fucked up.
Yeah, it would be. You're welcome.
Thank you.
Half the reason I said it.
Yeah, I like how Shana says that would be really fucked up, but you could like
Yeah.
see the smile in your mind as she says it.
Well, like, if you had a plastic rat, that's going to become a real rat. But if you like put clothes on it, does it suddenly become Stuart Little? Like, at what point? Because you could have a toy of Stuart Little, and it would be Stuart Little.
Yeah.
At what point does it transition? Like, who has the power to decide that this is a toy of? Like, again, it comes back to who decides if this is Little Bear. What if you had another one from the same mold?
So many questions I want answers to.
If you put a cowboy hat on Darth Vader, is it still Darth Vader when it comes to life?
Oh.
Vader.
Yeah, you just give him Boone's hat, and now it's Darth Boone. But yeah, who knows? Maybe the other 4 books go into all of this. I'm sure they don't. Then again, some pretty heavy stuff for a first one. So who knows what kind of crazy shit the others get into.
I wonder what would happen if you put Tepper's tops in the cupboard.
I was gonna say, is it time to turn this film back into plastic to return it to its time?
Yeah, this movie was pretty decent. I think for now, put it in the number 37 spot.
Number 37. Between The Running Man and Logan's Run. Oh, you can't break them up. They're a power couple. Kind of middle of the massive list.
Yeah, like it was, it was pretty decent. There were a couple like parts where there was a couple sections where I was just like a little bored with the movie. Not necessarily because it was the movie's fault. It was just kind of like, I'm not the intended audience for this movie anymore.
It's a weird framing for a movie. So who is the intended audience?
Dads.
Well, children have.
Yeah.
Dads.
Dads.
Yeah.
Dad paradise. It's skylights for every room.
Yeah, you get to work on your house forever, and your kid's like a perpetual kind of fuck up.
You can give very mild dad advice, and then walk away and
Go
start
get
hammering
mugged.
something.
Yeah, go get. It's
To
a
be
learning
fair,
experience.
his son requested to go get mugged.
Dad, let me go this time. Okay,
It's just
son.
it's just like 3 blocks away in 90s New York.
It's during the daytime.
Didn't stop the mugger.
Doesn't fucking Benedict shoots a man like a block away from where this kid lives? I swear.
Yeah.
And then the villain.
I'm still on Team Omri.
Yeah, I don't agree.
Well, I think it comes down to who are you going to put in the bracket?
JFK kid.
Oh. We have a kid with a magic oh my god.
Yeah, and he's a villain.
No, he's not. Do the
So
business dad.
you want to say Patrick?
I think Patrick
Tepper?
is a much more antagonistic force in this movie than
He
Omri
learns
is.
the lesson Omri learns in half the time.
And nearly fucks everything up in half the time too.
Yeah, a couple times actually.
Yeah, a couple times he nearly makes the worst mistake that Omri never even came close to making.
Somewhat close to making.
I do want to watch the psychological thriller Ivan cut, where it's like a horror movie from the perspective of Little Bear.
Yeah, that'd be really good. This child god has brought me to life. He does not
I have
understand
no
the
mouth,
value of life. Yeah,
and I must
I must
scream.
scream.
It's just a picture of him in plastic.
I was thinking of a version of I have no mouth and I must scream, but Shana's the supercomputer.
Oh god. Kill me.
Yeah.
Like anytime we get talking on this show, we're like, yeah, this is a fucked up thing. Sean is like, hold my beer. you want to hear about a fucked up thing.
Yes. So yeah, Patrick's like bit of a fuck up. Definitely a frustrating character to watch.
Patrick was just doing right by his man-child by putting on Cowboys versus Indians. Omri did a terrible job for his man-child.
Should put on Indians versus Cowboys. I don't know.
Yeah, exactly. Should have switched back to Motley Crue.
Yeah. I guess put him in the number 42 slot. He's definitely not better than Biff, so.
All right. Below Biff and above Sheriff Cooley plus Dog.
From
Oh brother, we're at
we're over there. We're at that. Yeah. For the business dads, I think
I don't know what the mom does besides walk her son to school.
collects keys.
Yeah.
She collects keys. Yeah, that's true. That is her profession.
But they're like very supportive. Like I'm thinking put them in.
They're very genuine parents. Just like other than like not caring that their son got mugged.
But they just seem to do like these are parents that come out of a parent fantasy.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah.
The dad is the perfect dad who just like renos his house all the time. The mom cares. The mom loves antique keys and granola is about the characterization we get of the mom.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, they're very and they care about their son. She like wishes him good night. Otherwise they yell up to his room. Very, very, very real stuff.
Yeah, very real. Very real.
But like, yeah, other than just like it's like, oh yeah, show me that injury you got 3 hours ago when you got mugged. Yeah, it's probably fine.
I mean, it's New York City. They're probably used to it.
That's why you have so many kids. You're gonna lose some of them. That's what happened to the other 2 kids since his birthday.
Oh, New Yorkers are sea turtles. I get it.
But yeah, so for Reno Business Dad, I think below a Goofy Business Dad, and above Artist Who Sells Junk Business Dad.
Oh damn!
Oh wow, that's a
Second
Bottom of
most
the list,
dad.
very dad.
Well, it's like what you were saying is like they're literally like,
The platonic ideal of a parent.
yes, yeah.
Omri put the dad figure in the cupboard.
Yeah, like there's like no flaws. Like they care about their kids to a reasonable degree. They are supportive. Like I don't know, like there's no like tragedy in that family. You know, he's got both his parents. He's got brothers. I don't know. Like it's perfect. Dad renos. Mom walks him to school.
Oh man, give me the sequel where JFK kid finds out about the cupboard and brings his JFK action figure over.
Okay, listen carefully. You're gonna be in a car without a roof.
Changes the course of history.
Oh.
He keeps locking and unlocking him in there to give him a reoccurring dream to hammer home the message.
Or the moment that he grabs him is when he's in the car in Dallas.
Yeah.
Then he has to find a Lee Harvey Oswald doll. Obviously, he makes the Lee Harvey Oswald doll, and then you find it, and Lee, he's I wasn't in Dallas that day. And then it's like, oh my god.
How deep does this go?
I mean, if you just kill the Lee Harvey Oswald doll, then you've solved the problem.
Perfect.
Yeah, I mean, that's the other, like, what point in time? I guess it depends on how accurate to a specific point in time the JFK action figure is to what part of his timeline you pull him from.
I like the the Todd McFarlane in midst of getting shot JFK doll.
Yeah. Well, that's the thing. Like, if you had a doll that was in like a blue suit versus like a black suit or something, like I guess that would be enough to potentially even. It's just like, no, this is vaguely the suit he was wearing on that day.
What kind of company is putting out here is the assassination accurate JFK doll bullet that wasn't found not included
with back and to the left action.
The answer is JFK kid when he grows up and learns about this cupboard. It's like, for years I've been making perfect models of JFK from every moment in his timeline, and I didn't know why. Now I do.
What if the kid was like a sociopath? What if the kid was like a neocon sociopath? What if the kid just brings back JFK? He's like, all right, Bay of Pigs, you got to nuke him. You got to nuke the fuck out of him. Just start landing him.
All right, and that's why JFK kid should be in the never.
All right, you've won me over.
I mean, we could put all three in there. Think of the power they would have.
Patrick, JFK kid, and
the cupboard.
Omri. Oh, and
and Omri, but
oh my god,
we could Ratatouille all over again. Especially if he gets a Ratatouille doll, he could summon a Ratatouille and start ratatouilleing people. I'm just imagining how prepared for the glory Omri could be if he had a Batman action figure.
Sadly, he does not have rights to Batman.
No, unfortunately for him. All right, let's do a rating. I think we did the things. Yeah, the things have been done. The die has been cast.
Okay.
And Omri, Patrick, and JFK Kid enter the ring against Mr. Mistopheles.
A worthy foe.
I mean, he can just like put a blanket on the ground and like steal the cupboard. So who knows? This could go badly for them.
Omri will just lose the key again.
Yeah.
I would like to rate this movie In 1949, JFK began preparing to run for the Senate in 1952 against Republican three-term incumbent Jeremy Cabbage Lodge Jr. with the campaign slogan, "Kennedy will do more for Massachusetts." Joseph Kennedy again financed his son's candidacy, while John Kennedy's younger brother, Robert F. Kennedy, emerged as an important member of the campaign as a manager.
That was good.
Oh. I now wish you had prepared one for all of us.
Yes, thank you, random scrolling on the Wikipedia page for JFK.
I give this movie 1 skylight for one brother.
Which would you prefer to have, a skylight or a rat that might get murdered by your brother?
Rat.
Skylight.
God, a skylight's so hard to clean, though.
I've never
How
had
the fuck do
one
you clean
before,
it? You gotta get a
so
mop up there.
You don't have to clean it. Your dad or mom's gonna clean it.
I rate this movie 1 mugging out of 1 trip to the store.
I give this movie the 2nd key out of a pile of random keys fitting into a cupboard.
Yeah, that was a really fast find. I expected him to have to go through at least half that pile.
There's like no establishment in this movie of normal world. It's just like he goes to school, he has friend, he has family, magic.
Yep.
Yeah, but Chris was saying that. I actually kind of appreciated that. Like, the movie didn't like fuck around, and it's just like, nah, we know why you're here.
It didn't Willy Wonka us. Yeah.
Yeah, like, you're here for the Indian in the cupboard, so here's the Indian in the cupboard.
I guess when you're writing a bedtime story for your son, you don't need to establish who your son is to your son.
What if he'd gone through all those keys and like 5 or 6 of them worked and they all did different shit? Like,
Oh no!
That's the other thing. Like, maybe it is the cupboard. Maybe a lot of keys fit it. It wasn't it was unlocked. It's just how it is.
He didn't need a key.
Yeah, he just wanted to be able to lock it.
well, he's got terrorist brothers. Of course, he's got to lock his shit.
Yeah, like if I was to do like one change to this movie, I would have it locked at the beginning.
Mm.
Yeah. He opens it and there's just a skeleton.
Oh man. Oh, we're not gonna top that. Goodbye, everyone.
As always, I've been your host, Ivan.
I'm Chris.
I'm Shana.
And I'm Tepper.
And a special thanks to 8-Bit Jazz for the use of our theme song. You can find them on YouTube or follow the link in the description.
Downloadable Zebras is a dedicated group of friends that make independent content. If you want to support us and ensure that we stay ad-free, go to patreon.com/downloadablezebras. For $3 a month, you'll get bonus shows and access to the special patrons-only section of our Discord. Thanks for listening.